Ricky Cage, hello and welcome, and many congratulations for your fourth Grammy nomination for your album Break of Dawn, which is nominated in the New Age album category. To start with, Ricky, considering that you are now a regular at the Grammys, were you expecting this nomination or did it come to you as a surprise?
No, it definitely did come to me as a surprise. At the back of my mind, I thought that this album is deserving because I really worked very hard on it. And every progressive album of mine, I always believe is my work gets better and better as I grow more and more as a musician and also as a human being. Because at the end of the day, all of my music is about various causes. It could be about social causes, it could be about environmental causes, or in this case, it's about mental health. So I believe I'm not only growing as a musician, but also growing as a human being and learning so much more about my surroundings, about people, about various issues. So the thing is that I do feel that Break of Dawn is my most special work ever, and it's the best album that I've ever created. So I'm really, really glad. Rather than surprised, I'm just really, really glad and very happy that it was validated through this Grammy nomination.
Then, is this nomination extra special for you or holds a special place in your heart because it's first ever solo artist Grammy nomination for an Indian since the legendary Pandit Ravi Shankar?
Yeah, because in my previous albums, I've always collaborated with musicians. With my 2015 Grammy Award winning album, which was about a Kellerman, and the Grammys that I won in 2022 and 23, I collaborated with the absolute legend Stuart Copeland. This time, I got to make an album which was entirely, my own. An album that I created completely based on my own mindsets and exactly the way that I wanted to. In fact, this album was released through a major label, that is Universal Music Group had created a new label called as Vedam Records. And very surprisingly, even though they were a major label, the usual cliche is that the major label always bends the will of the artist and constantly asks for changes and demands certain things from the artist. In this case, that wasn't at all what happened. I just finished off the album, I delivered the album, and it was released as it was. So it was a true artistic expression from me, and that is why, as you correctly mentioned, this Grammy nomination is very, very special to me.
Now, you actually had bagged the Grammy Award thrice in the past, and we're really hoping that you will be honored again. But would you agree with me when I say, do you think it's safe to say that, and we now believe that Ricky Cage is always on the radar of Recording Academy?
So uh, you know, I, uh, I've always believed that when it comes to awards, one has to create music which is completely uncompromised. So when I create my music, I'm never thinking of awards or recognition or commercial reactions or making money off an album. I'm always creating music completely from the heart on topics that I feel very, very strongly about, or music that or something that I want to communicate to my audiences. So that's exactly how I create my music. Each and every piece of music is a piece of me, and uh, uh, and a lot of people say that, oh, I'm not into awards and things like that. But in my case, what it is that I create music that is completely uncompromised. And then later on, if it wins an award, then I'm extremely grateful for that award. And we've discussed this before too, because the thing is that when it comes to awards, awards are a great validation for your art form. And secondly, an award gives you a platform for creating more and more better music in the future, and also for more and more people to take the message that you are giving through your music more and more seriously. So that's how, and since my music is always with a message, I believe that awards can give me that platform to reach that message further and wider, as much as possible.
Then, talking about the message, can you please tell us about the album? It's a nine-track album based on various ragas and with the objective to promote mental health.
So there is this, as you know, that I've always been an environmentalist my whole life, and the environment is pretty much every decision that I make in my life has to do with the environment and environmental consciousness. So there is this very ancient Indian philosophy, Hindu Buddhist philosophy, which says that the impurities of the environment and ecology is in direct relation or a direct reflection of impurities of the mind. So in order to purify the environment, we have to first purify the mind and vice versa. And this is something that really stuck with me. And so when I was making Break of Dawn, I decided that Break of Dawn has to be about mental wellness. And what better way to bring about mental wellness through music than through Indian rooted, wellness music. So that's exactly what I did. I composed 9 songs. Each and every one of those 9 songs is based on an Indian classical rag. And I got together with some amazing Indian musicians, flute players, violin players, singers, sitar players, and in creating this particular album. So it's very Indian in its essence, but it's very international in its appeal. Anybody from anywhere in this world would love listening to this album. So the album itself, what we've done is that we've given it a very scientific bent of mind, where I've researched everything very, very thoroughly. And in addition to that, what I've done is that I've collaborated with science institutes all over the world. Like there's been a collaboration with Stanford Global Health and Stanford School of Biodesign, and also with various other institutes all over the world. So, in fact, the Stanford Global Health gave us a beautiful citation where they congratulated me on the album. And they also said that this is definitely addressing the global burden of mental health all over the world. So, that's what this album is all about.
Last year it was Rakesh Chaurasia and Shankar Mahadevan bringing Grammy home. We have spoken in the past. We see musicians from Asia or Indian or musicians of Indian origin are being nominated at the Grammys every year. When do you think the Academy will have a dedicated category for the music from India? They have one for from Africa.
I think that will probably take a while. I cannot speak on behalf of the Academy because I do not work for the Academy, nor do I know them in person, the people who run the Academy. But the thing is that I do believe that India does deserve a category of its own simply because the music in India is extremely diverse. We've got, of course, the traditional classical forms of music, the North Indian, South Indian, Drupad. We've also got folk forms from various regions across India. So there is a lot of music in India that warrants definitely warrants a specialized category for Indian music. But then again, Indian music is so diverse too. Like you've got your Bollywood, you've got your pop forms of music, you've got your Indian rock music. So one category itself will also not be enough, probably. But the question more is that when are we going to start an awards in India where we will award the rest of the world? I think that would be more important, that we start an awards program in India where we not only award Indian musicians and Indian artists, but we award musicians from all over the world. So it's basically we change the paradigm that Indian music is the paradigm.
So then, which is your favorite category apart from the new age music and from the Grammy Awards?
I think I like the global music category. I also like the classical music categories, that is the Western classical music categories. I love following that and seeing who's won, and I'm a fan of a lot of the musicians. I also like the film score categories. So yeah, so there are quite a few categories that I love watching and I love following.
We'll be seeing many Indian faces at the 67th Grammy Award. There'll be Anushka Shankar, there's Varija Shri, Venugopal, Radhika Vakaria, Chandrika Tandon. Are you friends with them?
Yeah, of course. Vari Jashri, in fact, is a part of my album. We've been very good friends and we've done more than 100 concerts all over the world. Anushka is also a friend. We've met and also, we interact with each other on the internet, online, and in fact, we've had many times we've been very close to collaborating, but unfortunately, that has not happened. But of course, Anushka does not live in India. And Chandrika Tandon, very, very famous philanthropist and an entrepreneur. I've never met her in person, but I've interacted with her multiple times online and spoken to her. I think she's immensely talented and a very generous person, a very good human being. Again, she does not live in India; she lives in New York. And Radhika Vakaria has never lived in India. I've known her, and she's also a very good friend. And she's competing with me in the same category. Again, an immensely talented singer, very, very good human being, great soul. And again, but she's never lived in India, so she does not have her roots in India, even though she is Indian from origin.
Have you decided, or is it too early what you'll be wearing for the big night?
No, no, it's too early for that.
But then, uh, please promise that if you win, which we are certain you'll win, will you be mentioning this or urging sort of asking Academy to start a category for the Indian music?
No, I mean that I think there have been numerous requests for that already. But I guess the academy also has to look at various other considerations. I of course hope that they start a category for Indian music, but more importantly, I hope that we can start an awards function in India, which becomes bigger than the Grammys, where instead of the West, awarding the rest of the world, I think it should be India awarding the rest of the world.
Well, with that, the country have high hopes from you, Ricky Cage. We'll be cheering for you on the morning of 3rd February in India. Best for 67th Grammy Awards. Thank you so much, Ricky.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Thank you.